Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at Phantom. This is going to be a lower time frame video. Make sure you check out our higher time frame video up above if you haven't already. Let's get into the charts and see what's going on. Okay, before we jump into the minor counts, we're going to go over a couple of the ideas that we are looking for here on the bigger time frame. So within our bullish count, what we are looking for is the potential that we could have this as A, B, and C, in which case our 1-to-1 is actually sitting here at this 70 cent 50, and invalidation is sitting here at this 1642. Now it is possible for us to break this low and still see a push to the upside, and what they would be looking for rather than would be something along these lines, where what we'd be saying is that this whole move could still be a bigger corrective pattern, where we have this as a flat correction here, and we're looking for this as a corrective move to the downside. Now within this idea of this being either W, X, and Y, or alternatively A, B, and C as a flat correction, the low here would be allowed to be taken before still actually seeing a little bit of a rally to the upside here. So going to be keeping an eye on this. If we are looking at this idea here, what we'd be saying is that once this X wave looks to complete, we would be looking for a reversal back up. 1-to-1 of the W wave would be here at this 6086, and then higher targets would be anywhere between this 1.618 and this 1236 that we have higher up here. So need to be keeping an eye on this. If we do see price looking to push up into some of these higher zones here, this could still align with this just being a corrective move, where we still look for continuation to the downside afterwards, in either this move being a bigger X wave here and looking for a Y wave to the downside, which case our target is currently sitting at this 1-to-1 level here of this 340, and then the minimum requirement is sitting here at this 1047. So now within those two ideas of actually seeing a bullish push to the upside, what we would need to see is we need to see this low maintain ideally. And what I'm looking for more locally here, there isn't really a lot to go off of given the current structure. This is looking quite corrective to the upside, but what I would be looking for if we're going to see this move off this low at this 1781 would be that we first off obviously need to hold this 1780 level, and then what I would want to see is progression to the upside. Now given the current structure that we have here, the way that this would be looking at is basically 3 waves down, 3 waves up, and looking for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave move to the downside. Now it is possible here that this 4th wave could already have completed, and we've actually completed this 5th wave into this point. The key thing here is going to be how we react. If we do start to react to the upside and start to form bigger 5 wave moves which take these highs, the next point that I'll be keeping an eye on here is this 1-to-1 at this 2310. We can see this is quite an interesting zone because it would be bringing us back into this previous support zone that we had here. So if we do see price just move up in 3 waves here, we need to be careful that this then doesn't look to break down and actually move down past this 1780 level. If we want to look for a trending move, what we would have to see given our current structure is a move up towards this 2578 level, and then we could start looking at this potentially as 1, 2, 3, 4, and then looking for this 5th wave to the upside, which could look to push us up towards this 2760 to this 2646. Now within this idea here, it is also possible that we could see something a bit more complex developing here, because we could be looking for either a 5 wave move or a 3 wave move off this low. So if we do see price form something like this, we get this as A, B, and C, and we still look to maintain this zone here of this 1849, we can still possibly look for this push to the upside again here, where this becomes a bigger A, B, C pattern. It is also possible that internally here this could become A, we get B, and then C. So this 1849 is going to be crucial here for our bullish count, where we're looking for this possibility of a break to the upside. Now if we come back out here and we discuss that bearish idea here, what we could actually see is that this move could already be starting to form our bigger Y wave to the downside. Now within that idea of the bigger Y wave, what we'd be saying is that this whole move here could be an A wave. We're looking for a B wave, and then we're looking for this C wave to the downside. Now given the current structure, we could argue that the B wave is actually nestled into this point over here, in which case what we are looking for is a 5 wave structure down. And the problem that we have here is that we can potentially count this is a 5-wave move where we've had 1, 2, this is a 3rd, 4th, and a 5th, and then it's completed. But it is also possible that there could be extension in here where we have a series of 1s and 2s, and then we start to look to break down deeper. So this C wave target is actually down here at this 1061 level, and I'll be keeping an eye on this. We are still respecting this channel, so if we do move back down here towards this 1630 level, this would be quite an interesting zone because we would get an interaction with the channel. We'd also look to sweep this low here. So I'd want to see exactly what happens around this level if we do see price looking to push back down. Now, if this is actually in this Y wave here, we could also see something like this where we see a bigger ABC pattern and look to push back up into this 3275 to this 5155 before actually seeing this progression to the downside, because at the moment we just have 3-wave structure down. This could actually, indicate that we could see something developing to the upside. So if we do see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which actually looks to push us back up into these highs, we could then be looking at the idea of a flat correction in this zone. Now, that flat correction, the idea with this would actually be something along these lines here, where what we are saying is that this is A, this is B, and what we're looking for is the potential of the C wave up. Now, the most common target area for a flat correction is this 3409 to this 2924. So if we do see price looking to hold this low and starting to form impulsive structure to the upside, we need to be careful of this idea of the flat, because within the idea of the flat here, what we'd get is 3 waves up here, and then we'd look for continuation to the downside. The only way that we're going to see a trending move off these low is if we get 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then we get another 3-wave move down which holds this low, in which case then we can start looking at that possibility that this move could start to trend, and we could start to be looking for a bigger C wave to the upside. So this is what I'm watching at the moment. We need to see how we react off these lows. There is still potential here that we could see a little bit more downside within that bullish count, where what we are saying here is that internally here we have this as A, B, and C. We have come down towards this zone of this 1382 to this 1.618, which is already met the requirement. Now we could argue that within here we have this as 1, 2, this is 3, 4, and 5, and is completed. Alternatively, there could be 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then we could still see a little bit more downside coming in, looking to bring us down into this 1640 level, which would align with coming back and actually interacting with this low. Now, looking at this possibility that we could be looking at the blue 5th wave here, which we've already come into the target box. This is why I'm just being mindful that we could start to see some kind of a reversal. If we haven't completed this move, what I would then be anticipating is that we're getting some extension within these waves, and what we'd be looking for here is effectively having a series of 1s and 2s higher up here, in which case we're still extending out in this blue 5th wave here. Now, the common target area for this blue 5th wave would be 1695 to this 1565 level, and then from there what we'd have to be careful is that if we do get 5 waves down here, we need to see how we react. Until we actually break these previous 4th waves, we could just see continuations in 4ths and 5ths, another 4th and a 5th, and just see price continuing to break down in this way. So this is why it's crucial for us to start breaking back above some of these highs. Invalidation of this idea of the blue 4th and 5th is here at this 2261, and if we do move back above that, that would then be actually indicating that either this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 into this point here, and we could be looking for a corrective move before continuation down, or alternatively what we'd be saying here is that this move is completed into this low and we could start to look for progression to the upside, though we'd need to take these highs for more clarity on that idea. Now, within this idea here of this being a 5th wave, we could also see something like this rather as a diagonal pattern, where we say that this is 1, 2, and what we're looking for here is effectively another 3-wave move, looking to break this wave 1 low. If we do see something like this, where this becomes 1, 2, 3, another 3-wave move up for a 4 and a 5, effectively this would align quite nicely with the idea of actually having a diagonal pattern here. Now, within this idea here, it would be possible that this wave 2 is still incomplete, and we could see something like this, where we still need to push up here in this ABC pattern towards this 2310 level. This would align quite nicely with coming back up towards this 50% zone over here. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. If we do see price looking to hold this level, push to the upside, and we only get 3 waves here, this could align with this wave 2 moving over here. Then we get 3, and then we'd still be looking for 4, 5, and after that. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly how this looks to play out from this point. Now, if we are looking for the potential of breaking down more locally here, what I will be on the lookout for is the possibility that we could get a much bigger breakdown off this move here. Now, the way that we'd say that this is played out is 1, 2, 3. This would all become 4, 5. Now, like we said previously, if we do get 3 waves to the upside and we fail to take this high, we need to be on the lookout for 2 things. This could then become A, B, and C, and we see a push down here towards this 1-to-1 level, which would be 1885. If we do just get a 3-wave move here, this could still align with that idea of this being a bigger A, B, C pattern, where we would be looking to push to the upside and actually take these highs again. If, however, this move starts to get more excited to the downside and we start to see price breaking down towards this zone of the 1762, then this would align more with the idea that this is 1, 2, 3, and then we'd be looking for evidence of this 4th wave and then this 5th wave to the downside, which could look to push us down towards the 1733 to the 1688 level. So this is the bearish situation which I'm looking for here. If we start to see this idea of a breakdown from this point where this becomes a bigger 5-wave move, this starts to fit into the idea that we are extending out here, looking for this blue 5th wave at the 1695 to this 1565 area. So that's why I'm looking for this potential of this breakdown from where we currently are here. If we start to see this where this becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, this would indicate to me that the corrective structure is not completed and we could still be looking to break down some more. Coming in here and having a look at the daily CPR lines, what we can see is that we're currently above our central lines, which are sitting between this 2020 and this 2004. If we do continue to hold these, we could look to see price actually push up here towards this 2057, 2087, 2133, and this 2164 are all upside targets for today. If, however, we start to lose these central lines, we could look to actually come back down and test this S1 line here at this 1981. Losing this 1981 level, I would be keeping an eye on yesterday's low, which is sitting here at this 1966. If we do look to push beyond that zone, other targets would be 1935, 1905, and this 1859 as potential downside targets. Now, this would align with actually seeing something like this, where this is bigger A, B, and C pattern. So I'll be keeping an eye on these lower levels if we do see price look to push there. Alternatively, if we do see a small bounce up here, this could still align with the idea that we could see something like this play out over the period of the day, but we'll have to see exactly what the price tells us. Now, moving over here and having a look at the weekly CPRs, we can see that we have actually printed a slightly higher CPR here. So this is giving us a moderately bullish bias here, but price is currently consolidating underneath these CPR lines. Now, if we do see price continuing to consolidate underneath these CPR lines, the likelihood is that we are going to see a move down towards this 1923 to test this S1 line. If we do see price lose that level, 1838 and this 1706 are potential downside targets. Moving back above these central lines here, which is between this 20 cent 33 to this 2082, we could potentially look to find support on these and look to flip them. If we do, I'll be watching out for the possibility of seeing a move up here towards this 2143 over the period of this week, which would align with something like this as a corrective move, looking to actually push up and look to bring us back up into some of these highs. Other targets for this week would be 2277 and this 2361 as potential upside targets for this week. So this would align with the idea of seeing something like this as a bigger ABC pattern, looking to bring us up into these zones. So that's why I'm looking out for that possibility. Now, moving over here onto the monthly pivots, we've actually printed a lower monthly CPR, which is a initial bearish sign here. Now, if we do stay below these central lines, the likelihood is price will be gravitated towards this 1685 level to test this S1 level. Now, other targets to the downside for this month would be 1368. And we have this lower zone here of this 0943. So this would align with this move looking to extend out to the downside. If, however, we look to move back through these zones, which could potentially offer us resistance, 2049, 2098, and this 2147, what we could then see is price could actually be gravitated towards the upside targets being this 2412, 2827, and this 3142 level. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback down below, and also in the description you will find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. Everyone have a great day. We will see you in the next one. Take care.